Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another where I feel like I need to scooch over a little bit, get more in the picture. TRC Podcast Q&A Thursday, right here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. Of course, your host, Dane Hennon. To my left, Anthony Fisher.
Dane, thank you so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you know, it feels so weirdly formal, where it's just like a more intimate setting, because Levi is out for the day, obviously. But you got us. We're going to answer your detailing questions, comments, all that good stuff. So don't worry. If it's more car-related, I'll be your guy. If it's more detailing-related, Anthony's got you.
Yeah,
so
we're
going to have some fun.
We're here for a good time, not a long time, technically 2 hours. But if we end sooner, we end sooner. But yeah, Levi is out today doing some stuff with his kids. And we are holding down the fort here on Q&A Thursday. So first and foremost, if you haven't checked out the live video that we did yesterday with Mr. Adam Patali from Adam's Polishes, please go and check that out. It was a fun video. It was a good time. Yours truly washed a vehicle. We had Dane on the MC here, basically guiding the show along and answering your questions yesterday. And Adam was a treat, right? Adam's awesome. So he comes by every once in a while here at the Rag Company headquarters, and he had offered up his Audi RS6 for a wash, essentially live wash. And we did that using some of Adam's polishes, and we used that Adam's polishes, and we used some of the Rag Company's Company's towels.
It was a good blend. It was a good time.
It was funny. I was saying that yesterday. I'm like, all right, so today we're using some of Adam's polishes. You know,
you have to like double down like this. Adam's.
We're using some of Adam's products. Yes.
Yeah. No, he's a great guest, and what I like about him is he just kind of like breezes through those conversations. Yeah. It never feels really forced or anything. He has opinions, he has perspective, and it makes him more interesting having somebody you can really kind of go, back and forth with like that.
True. So check that out if you haven't seen it. It's a fun video. I think it's a good time, and obviously we love the RS6 Avant. It's an awesome freaking car. So
long roof lifestyle.
Other things here as far as housekeeping goes. I was I was surprised today when I was surfing the Rag Company website. So I don't know if Nick has the ability to go to the Rag Company website. Oh, he does.
Look at that.
And obviously we have some promo stuff coming up for TRC SEMA, which I'm going to cover here shortly. Mm-hmm. But if we actually go over to the new products tab, Nick, and click that bad boy, what do we got? Oh my goodness. New products. New freaking products. So
yes.
Up top there, we have the Ultra Wheel and Body Brush, which we'll click on that. And this is something that is new that technically we've created some media around. And
you used it yesterday with Adam.
Yeah. We haven't created our formal video yet, which we probably do need to create our formal video, kind of our main product highlight video.
There's a video on the listing.
But there is a video. And just to kind of quickly go over this, just for people that have been out of the loop, we started this brush creation process about over a year ago, actually, when I started breaking down kind of the design and kind of what I was, the kind of brush that I most wanted, that kind of what it's really what it came down to. And so this was something that myself and with the help of some other TRC team members kind of designed from the ground up here.
You got very specific with it.
Correct. Yeah. We used kind of a general template. There are some other brushes on the market which we like the general size of, but we wanted to obviously create something of our own. So this new Ultra Wheel and Body Brush is not a small brush. It's not a large brush. It's a medium size brush. I can't say that enough, because whenever you think of a wheel brush, you think of a big old brush with a big face of it that, kind of just covers the main.
Usually it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's like a broad brush, right? This is more of a fine-tooth comb that's actually going to be able to do a really good job at knocking out the nooks and crannies of a wheel or parts of the body of a vehicle. And it's got some really cool design cues. So obviously we got rubberization on the entire thing. It's made out of a very high impact grade plastic. We've got our TRC kind of molding on there, maybe our imprint of our logo, which is really cool. And then the bristles themselves were a very proprietary process that we went through here at TRC, and we basically did a crisscross design on the bristles themselves to create more rigidity there, and maybe think of like a toothbrush, but we also did a frontmost tip of the brush, which is actually going to be used for getting into more of the nooks and crannies. And we actually did an angle on that as well. So you'll notice the U there in the blue shape, which is pretty cool because that stands for Ultra. But this is probably one of my favorite products that I've kind of had my hand at creating to date. And I think it's something that every detailer needs in their bucket, regardless of whether or not they already have a larger wheel brush or whether they have smaller Detail Factory brushes. This is just like that perfect do-it-all brush that truly can do everything without being too big or too small. It does have a hang tag on there, which turns into a sticker. It has a really cool clamshell design. So highly recommend picking this brush up. It's priced extremely well. We wanted to come into the market with a brush that everybody would be able to purchase and everybody would be able to use. And so I guarantee you that you're going to absolutely love it. So try it out. Pick it up. I think you guys are going to really like that. So the other product I want to briefly go over, this is something that I believe we have an extremely limited amount on, is going to be the Ultra Rip and Rag XL.
Ooh.
So we were surprised to see this pop up on the site, but it looked like we had an air shipment order in that came in soon, to where these are available to purchase if you want to get your hands on these sooner than later, especially before all the media comes out. But ultimately, this is a 16 by 16 premium pearl towel and a 70-30 blend with over 280 GSM, but it is a towel that you can rip off of the roll and jump straight into a coating removal, coating leveling, wheel coating, paint coating, metal coating, whatever you want it to be. This is not your standard rip and rag, which is it's a 70-30 blend, but the standard rip and rag is a terry weave and under 200 GSM. This right here is approaching 300 GSM, and it is in a premium pearl weave. And so in the Ultra Blue too, which is really cool. And then if we go back to the product page really quick, we do have the new Alkali Wheel Cleaner from Kosh Chemi now available on the website, which this is basically Kosh Chemi's alkaline-based wheel cleaner. So it's exactly what it sounds. Magic Wheel Cleaner is going to be more of on the lower of the pH, about a 5.5, so more acidic. This is going to be more alkaline.
You can do tires with this one.
You can do tires
because it's alkaline.
And you can do tires, and you're going to have a much better ability of cleaning there. And I think it's also priced extremely well, and it's highly dilutable, so it's something that people can pick up. And then we'll go back one more to the main page there. And then I want to point out that the Reset Clay Scrubbers are available now from PNS, and this is the PNS colorway of our Ultra Clay Scrubber. So if you love the Ultra Clay Scrubber, but you're looking for a little bit of variety, then pick these up. This is going to have that black and red combo, which obviously looks super, super cool. And you can add this to your bucket and your next wash as well. So that's going to cover everything. We did sell out of the Rag Company 1500, or not 1500, the Rag Company's Eagle Edgeless blanket. We did sell out of that. So thank you to all that purchased that. Hopefully you guys are staying warm here in these winter months. Let's see. I'm trying to think, last but not least, TRC SEMA.
Yes.
We are less than a month away, Dane.
It's really, really close at this point. Now, if you don't mind, let's kind of reiterate for people who maybe it's their first time here, they have no clue. You keep saying TRC SEMA. What is that?
TRC SEMA, the Rag Company Media Access. This right here is the event of events, right? Looking for something to do during a work week, right?
Yeah.
Looking for something to listen in on, something to watch, something to completely dive into.
On your phone, on your PC or Mac in the background, on a TV at work, something.
That revolves around detailing, then look no further.
Yeah,
you found it. You're already technically kind of here almost. You're just one channel away.
Absolutely.
So the Rag Company Media Access is kind of our take on a premier event that features new detailing products, tools, techniques, tips, and tricks from some of the biggest brands in the industry under one roof here in Boise, Idaho, that we live stream to all of you watching to keep you in the know on what's new in detailing, especially coming into the spring and summer months. And so there's SEMA, which is fantastic, which is usually rounds out the end of the year, gives you some products to look forward to in the following year.
Car stuff too.
That's everything, right?
Things. Yeah, it goes well beyond detailing.
This is detailing specific. This is detailing focused.
TRC SEMA.
this is one of the biggest events that we do and one of the biggest productions that we put on here at TRC. Obviously, we do a lot of live stuff. We make a lot of videos. We have a lot of fun with social media. But this right here is like literally our all hands on deck, the full enchilada, the loaded nacho, the
1 pound burger, the big
1
beefy
pound burger, I don't even know what other food analogies I could put it. This is like not one Pop-Tart, not two Pop-Tarts. This is the Costco Pop-Tart pack, all put into one and shoved into the biggest air fryer possible.
It's taking all of the skills that we utilize in like our little Q&As and live streams. And we do Q&As every week that we can. We do a podcast every week that we can. It's a regular thing for us. But this goes so far beyond that. This effectively brings the trade show experience to your screen. And it's just make it available. The big difference, though, is unlike, say, other shows that are out there where it's pre-recorded and it's kind of like, it looks really cool, but it gives you the experience of like, oh, wow, I know what's new now. The beauty of this kind of format is we're actually, when we do this, we make it available to you as a commenter, as a viewer, to be able to actually write in your comments. And as long as it fits the timing that we've got, you'll be able to ask the people actually involved with the products and companies questions, and they'll be able to answer in real time. That's not something you really get other places. So without having to go to a trade show, this gives you that opportunity.
Yeah. So we love this event. We have a ton of fun. We kind of tell people that, you know, if you're in the industry, right, and or if you've been part of our team, whether it's being a Grand Ambassador or whatever it may be, right, involved with us, it's one of the funnest events to just be a part of in person. But really, it's just as fun to be a part of it on your phone, right? I mean, it's just as fun to be a part of it on your computer. And we really try to make it that way to bring you in for just the best experience possible. I mean, obviously, we bring a lot of our sense of humor to the show. We have a ton of fun with that kind of stuff, but we also bring out some really valuable information, especially from people in the industry that know different things than what we know. I mean, it's
and
cool.
We're integrating fun new elements. Like every year we kind of have a different thing that we put into it. Maybe it's like a themed journey kind of thing that ties to some products or whatever. Maybe we do a fun intro, but in this case, we're trying something a little different so that for the extent of the entire day, it feels like one continuous thing and there's always something going on. So this year is going to be stretching us even further than we've gone before, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good time. So if you haven't seen it before, go check out the old episodes. You can certainly see those after you're done here. Just check out the TRC SEMA playlist over on the main Reg Company channel. Or, you know, if you're just waiting, you can obviously go and find it when it happens, April 1st through 4th, this coming April. So, good time.
Last but not least there, I mean, while, yes, we're going to be here and we're going to be having a ton of fun, we're also bringing in many people that you guys are aware of, right, and that are part of our Grand Ambassador program. So Jamie the Cleaner, the King, our showdown winner, right, is going to be here in flesh, in person, where we are going to get as many smiles out of him that we can, and obviously film all of them.
He's not a big smiler, but when he does, it's worth it.
We're gonna get as many smiles as we can. So Jamie's gonna be here. We're gonna have Alex Dewar, right, previous Grand Ambassador of the Year, them two together helping kind of host the podcast,
the Cleaner Cast
halftime show. They're going to be here doing that and staying busy, which is really cool. But then our other Grand Ambassador Showdown contestants are also going to be here as well. I don't want to call them runner-ups because
they worked hard.
They worked hard for everything, and so they are. I'll just say they're also our showdown.
They've all been invited here and are be given the option to come here. So we're going to get as many of them here as possible.
So I know Darren is going to be here for sure. Yeah. I know the Bearded Hunter is going to be here for sure. I know Matt Marsh, Dabbler Details, is going to be here for sure. And I know that, who am I missing?
Well, obviously, you have other folks who you're still waiting for an answer from. But
so, yes, I'm still waiting on a couple of people, but let me think, just as far as our showdown, right? I got Matt, I have Matt, I have Darren, I have Jamie, and I have Hunter. Yeah, that's okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
the other ones you're still waiting for a response. So if you're watching right now, could use a response. It'd be helpful.
Yeah. We want to see if we can get Vermil out here, but he does have to run a business, and we know that. Yeah. And then Heather,
Auto Care HQ.
Yeah, so she's got some business, I would say, home-related things that are happening where
stuff going on,
timing may not work out. So we'll see what happens, but we'd love to have everybody here. And I don't know, it's going to be like a big happy family, dude. I can't wait. It really is such a fun time. This whole week is like, it's weird because it's like I'm on a trip.
Yeah.
But I'm not really on it. I'm just here. I'm here.
You're bringing the trip
hometown.
to you, so you're kind of spoiled by it because they have to come here. But basically, it's a way to get all these people in one room when probably no other time would they be. Yeah. Maybe at SEMA, maybe. But even then, you usually don't get all these folks here. So we're trying to do something a little different, make it fun, involved. And yeah, I mean, you make it possible by being a commenter and writing things that people can see and enjoy.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some comments, some questions. So please bring them as needed, especially if you have any questions about the new products.
Of course. Bam. We got Dan Pfeiffer, who always starts these things off. Anthony, what's he saying?
It's a good afternoon. Word up from sunny Minnesota, USA. Also a sunny day here in Idaho. It says, Happy Friday Eve, TRC. Glad to see the crew all back this week. Mm-hmm. Here the snow is gone. The sun is out. Time to fire up the pressure washer.
Oh, so it's no longer Minnesota. Okay, so he's got action in place there. He's doing things. Well, Dan.
Hans goes in with some hello, Tau fanatics. Hans, saw a photo of your order.
That was kind of nuts. You mean like orders?
Orders.
Like he had a lot going on there.
Hans, do you think you have enough products yet? Do you think you're
Where does
stocked
it all
up?
go, Hans? Where does it go? You're one man. Like how?
Well, he's probably. I don't know. I think he's got his little kind of shop, his little storefront. Right. I'm assuming he's probably doing something there. But also, I mean. I think that Hans...
He's like a collector, too, though.
Hans is the kind of guy to use a pad once and throw it away. He probably uses one machine once and throws it away.
Yeah, that's efficient.
Uses a towel once and throws it away.
Mark 315. It's been good, but it's time for a new one.
Gives him a reason to always
next one.
Want the next model, want the new stuff. We have Frost 732 says, greetings, gents. Finally caught a rock chip. Ooh. Receiving my kit from Dr. Color Chip. Thank you, Anthony. Nice. How long is the curing time, and would you use quick body or redo the panel? I'm assuming that panel is ceramic coated is why you'd probably say to redo the panel.
Yeah.
What I would probably do is just look over the panel. I mean, how does it look? Is it scratched or marred? Does it look okay? If it looks fine, I wouldn't redo the panel. I'd literally just kind of cover up that area with something like quick body. But curing time in this weather, if you're in colder temps, then might be a little bit longer. If you're in warmer temps, it's really not that long. What I would probably say is to follow the process, clean out the chip, make sure you're doing your prep step, right? Making sure that you prep the surface with IPA, whatever it is, right? Apply your Dr. Color chip, fill in the chip as many times as it's needed, level it out. Whether you end up using the solvent or not, the Seal Act. Again, you don't have to use Seal Act. You can. If you do, it's going to help seal it and cure it faster. If you don't, then it's just kind of naturally going to cure. But however you decide to do that, I would probably give it like a week. I've coated over stuff as soon as like a day, and I've taken something like panel wipe to it a day after. If I didn't have to do that, then I would let it cure for longer and then do that. But if you're in a rush or you have to get it done, then yeah, usually probably 24 or 48 hours is enough time. But try to give it a week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was like a long circle just to get to a
but
short
it's
answer.
good. Like, what's nice about this is we're kind of going at our own pace. We'll give you nice, thorough answers. If you have a real detailed question, we'll help you out. So Super Auto 2K here saying Happy Friday Eve, because it would not be a Q&A Thursday without a Friday Eve mention. David Cervantes, what's up, guys? It's been a hot minute. I agree. David. And welcome back here. Dan Pfeiffer also, he's saying Johan. So we get a little back and forth. And we got Chad here saying, hey, welcome, Chad. And Joey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Not bad.
What's up, fellas?
It could have been just me.
Yeah,
could have been just Dane.
Bad. Yeah.
So we're at a good spot. Yeah. And so Levi will, I think all three of us.
At least get some diversity here. So.
I think the three amigos will be back for the podcast next week for sure, and the Q&A next week. So I think things will start to get back to normal here as we approach TRC SEMA.
Yeah.
Alex Dewar says, how are my favorite people? Can't wait to see you all in just a few short weeks. Alex, we cannot wait. It is going to be a good time. That floor cleaner is yearning for you.
Yeah. The seat was calling out, Alex.
It was.
Dewar, sit on me, Dewar.
Does anybody smell maple syrup coming out of that floor cleaner? It's like it's yearns for Alex.
Urine is a strong word.
Yearns for the Dewar.
That's a choice. All right, Rick Smith. Hello, everyone. Hello, Rick. DS Adipatali. So that's who the God and Guns guy was. Yes. So
that's
yes,
correct.
that was a phrase he said on yesterday's show.
You did.
Hans.
Hans says, dang it, now I need to order again. I just got 2 boxes. Well, we know, Hans, it was a crazy order, but now you need to order the new brushes, obviously.
Yeah, no, you're behind, Hans.
I
What's
would
up?
say give us another week or 2. We do have some more stuff on the way. Not big things, not like massive things, but it's going to be things that I think are going to be exceptionally useful.
Yeah.
That we haven't created before, which we probably should have created.
We've been on one lately with like the new creations.
What we've been doing is we've been saying, hey, like there's certain products that are like we've not overlooked, but like we've put on the back burner for so long,
Like
that
kind of a niche.
not niche, but it just we have big product ideas, which are like things like
Yeah.
the Rip and Rag, things like the 1500 drying towel, things
Yeah.
like that, where we go, this is a big idea. This is something that we've really put a lot of work and effort into to get to this point. But we have a lot of smaller ideas that we go, not a priority right now.
Sure.
It's a good idea. It would definitely be useful.
But it's not the end of the world if it doesn't come out right now.
But we need to put our efforts towards other things. Right now, we spent the last, I think, several months focusing more on the smaller things that we've been putting off for so long. And that's why we're dropping a few new products here in the next month or so.
Well, your brush was a good example of that because, I mean, in the case of the brush in particular, some people may assume, company comes out with their brush. It's like an off-the-shelf thing. They got it from somewhere. It's just a white label repurpose. No. In this case, our brushes, unique creation. Like that, nobody else is rocking that brush.
No.
So,
I mean, not yet. I mean,
no.
I'm sure
other people look at it and go, can I get my hands on one? And then we'll talk.
Yeah, I'll give it till SEMA, till I walk past a couple of booths. That
all I'm saying though is just know where it came from. Okay.
They knock off our design, or I think we did patent that bristle or process on the detailing world for that.
Well, what's funny is yesterday during the wash, Adam was like taking notes, staring at it, going, "This is pretty good." I'm doing a little market research right now.
I know.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was coming up with that Ultra U on the bristles, right? Because we talked about doing multicolor bristles, but me and your dad, I think we were talking about like, what if we connected the bristles here, and we like both looked at each other and our eyes lit up, and we're like, it's a U, and we're like, yes,
yeah, it is.
Aaron says, there wasn't a newsletter about the new product drops. No, there was not yet, at least. I don't know if there will be a newsletter coming out. I would guess it probably maybe within the next week or so, but we do have detailing season just around the corner where we might start dropping a few more of those emails.
Yeah, it's the time of year where this happens, and TRC SEMA is a place where we draw attention to all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, think of this as what we're doing here is this is ramping up for TRC SEMA. This is giving us our new products to launch and talk about then, because there's going to be other brands that are going to be bringing cool stuff to us to show off as well.
Well, you and Jimmy are in charge of our presentation during TRC SEMA. How's that going?
It's going pretty good.
Okay.
It's mostly going to be focused around the Ultra stuff. It's mostly going to be focused around kind of like a live showing of how things work, and and us kind of in action doing these things. There's one particular product that I'm really happy about that people are unsettled about here. Not in a bad way. They're unsettled with the way this thing feels. I'll just say that.
Yeah, just leave them hanging on that note.
It's kind of like the Dune popcorn bucket, right?
No.
It's kind of like the Dune popcorn bucket, in which some people want to put their hand in.
Oh, no.
Some people don't, right?
Yeah, the SNL skit about that was right on the money.
Different strokes for different folks.
It's uncomfortable with the whole thing. Yeah.
I'm planning on making people
Don't
more
reach in, man. The
uncomfortable.
popcorn's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
And on that note, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I know he just said we weren't notified about that newsletter. It really is like 9 times out of 10. It's where you're going to find out about stuff first, especially related to sales. Like when a sale's going down, the newsletter is the place to get notified before any other social media posts happen.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Subarado says, looks like a giant toothbrush, no tongue scraper. Not yet.
That's an interesting proposition.
Not yet.
All right, just thinking.
Joey Belinsky says, how's that bad boy work for carpet lines? Does not work for carpet lines.
It's not meant for carpet.
Bristles are too soft for that. It's a flag tip nylon, but we go through our own proprietary process of even softening that nylon further, which I can't I mean, that's actually the secret I can't talk about, but it's a really cool way we do it to make that brush.
You can tell though. You can totally tell by feeling it.
Extra
it is
safe.
Softer.
So Hans Closen says, "Dang, I wanted that blue towel. I know the old tripping rag is freaking awesome. It's it's really nice. It's tough. It's tough because right now I have a roll of ripping rags at my house that lived in my garage.
Yeah.
Now have moved to my they've now moved into my house, right into my kitchen.
Yeah.
I need to buy another box, but I'm like, do I buy the XL and I just start rolling through the XL?
Yeah.
But I'm such a towel purist that I genuinely feel I couldn't use those towels. I'm a rip and rag guy.
The rip and rag is the perfect solution for a guy like you.
Me. I need that for me because I don't want to feel bad about using it for dirty stuff. The Ultra XL is like it's way too nice of a towel to use for garage stuff. I mean, unless you're rich and famous and
hey,
you wipe your hiney with $20 bills.
Nobody's stopping you, man. If that's the move, then that's the move.
Here we go. Dan Pfeiffer says, "I would love to learn more about the alkali wheel cleaner." Dan, I do believe that either Levi shot a video going over the product information on that. Yes, he did. Yes, because it wasn't me. I know it wasn't me.
We were gone when that happened.
But I mean, honestly, fantastic wheel cleaner. I believe if you were to have one between Magic Wheel Cleaner or Alkali Wheel Cleaner, I believe that Alkali Wheel Cleaner will do more for you in the long run for wheel cleaning than Magic Wheel Cleaner will do, specifically mainly for the fact that it's not great at cleaning tires. It does have the built-in fault remover, which is amazing, but you look at the size difference. Your Magic Wheel Cleaner comes in a 500 milliliter bottle, right?
Yeah.
Your Alkali Wheel Cleaner comes in 1 liter and is heavily dilutable for your needs, and it builds up some pretty insane froth. It doesn't smell horrible, and I think it's a good bang for your buck. So if you are a fan of the way Brake Buster works, right? Then
or even Adam's Wheel and Tire Cleaner, like you guys talked about yesterday. I mean, those kinds of products, this would be a good replacement for that if that's something you already kind of like and you want to try something new.
It's, in my opinion, it's stronger than Brake Buster. As a wheel cleaner, it is stronger than Brake Buster. But that's why it's in that professional line, and that's why it is something that I do recommend diluting. You can use it at full strength, but I mean, I think
Brake Buster you can use right out of the bottle, not too much
Everybody
concern.
should be diluting Alkali Wheel
You're fine
Cleaner,
with that, but Alkali Wheel Cleaner, that could be a little bit intense if you're used to using, say, other products that are a little more consumer-facing.
Great for fender wells as well. So if you want to clean fender wells with that, you can as well. Happy Friday, Junior from the sunny south coast of Massachusetts. I hope you're all doing well. We are doing well.
I hope you're doing well.
Kevin, Spencer,
Travis,
Jonas, Judas,
Zeke. Just throwing names.
Whatever your name is. Joey Belinsky says, Alkali is a cool name. It is a cool name.
I mean, my dog's name is Callie. Just take the L off of it. That's cool, right?
Yeah. Carson Black says, Anthony, come back to Honda. Is there something there for me, Carson? Is there a reason why I need to come back to Honda? Is it the S2000 that's there? Because I already seen the S2000. I already want the S2000. Yep. Give me another reason to come back. And it better be red. and it better end with an R.
Ooh.
And then I also need to talk to my wife about, getting her approval of something like that.
And how soon after that would the Evo disappear?
It wouldn't, dude. I would love that. Would be
you
so
manage both?
Sick.
Really? You manage both?
It'd be so
That'd be a sweet 2-car garage.
It would be so freaking cool to have
if you parted with the RSX, the red Civic, and...
No, I don't want to part with any of that. I'm just saying...
You're just adding to it?
Dane, it would just be freaking cool to, in my garage, to have a red Type R, have the Evo, have like the black RSX next to each other there, have the Civic, unfortunately outside. It would be kind of sad, but I mean, let's just be honest. The cost...
The car's already stuck outside.
The cost difference is quite a bit different. That would be pretty sweet. But no, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think I'm going to be buying a new car anytime soon. That is unless I happen to trip and fall on like $50,000.
Oh, I thought you just meant like trip and fall and then like get some kind of settlement.
That too.
Like don't do that. Don't do that.
Cash here. What is this?
This is dangerous. You shouldn't just leave this lying around.
Leave her. Now I gotta go spend it at the dealership.
Oh shucks. Silverado. I agree, JB. Yes.
Dabbler details. We have
Hello.
Matt says the new products are pretty sweet. Shh. Don't tell anyone I'm here. Yeah, we
don't worry. We won't let anybody know.
Shouldn't you be working?
Yeah, hold up.
Yeah.
You got a job.
Anyways, Rick Smith says, I love doing carpet stripes. I know some don't like it, but my customers do. Honestly, Rick, I also like doing customer stripes on not my cars. I like doing it on customer cars. I like doing it on friends' cars. I get the same feeling that they probably get seeing something that looks clean visually.
It's like an OCD thing.
It's like an OCD thing. I like it, but I don't want it in my own cars. I don't like that. I want my own carpets to be...
Well, okay. Is it that you don't want it or you don't care? Like, if it was there, would it really bother you that much?
It would.
It would?
The reason why it would, because unless it always
some people are indifferent.
Well, it's because, like... I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know why. I did it. I've done it on a couple of my cars for a few years, and like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then it kind of gets scuffed. It gets scattered looking.
Well, yeah. Eventually, it's not going to look like that. That's just the nature of the beast.
Eventually, after a while, it's kind of. I like when you see brush lines just scattered around, like it's been vacuumed or touched. Kind of like when you vacuum a carpet at home.
Yes.
It's not perfect, but it's like.
Yeah, I'm vacuuming the house. I'm not mowing the lawn. Dirt gets collected in specific areas that you just got to work around.
I like the look.
I'm not making perfect.
I like the look of
with an overlap.
Like a freshly mowed lawn. I'm obviously doing perfect stripes. I'm doing diagonal stuff
because the neighbors can see that.
Yes, but in my own home, I like the look of a scattered but freshly vacuumed carpet.
It's just proof you did something.
Yeah. Jeff C.
All right,
says with products like KCX, Active Foam, Super Foam, RS, OG popularizing, reactive shampoo, OG popularizing, Built Hamper Touchless, and the apparent intro of Labo Cosmetica products to the U.S., do you see a trend towards more Euro style of detailing here? Do you think it's better for coatings to break down, remove dirt more dirt chemically to reduce abrasion, or rely on lubrication alone? Is Matt using touchless every wash possibly overkill?
That's a very comprehensive question, Jeff. So let's take a beat on this.
So it's a very comprehensive question, but it's really funny to ask this because there's an upcoming wash and talk that I do with Matt on his Evo, where we actually briefly discuss this. I'm hoping it stays in the edit. I'm not sure. He's editing it, or their team's editing it, so I don't know what's gonna stay in the video. What's not gonna stay in the video.
Here's how you'll know. It was 2 hours long when we shot it.
Was that long of a wash?
I was recording audio. It was an hour and like 48 minutes.
That's a long wash.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. So, it's a lot, so I don't know what he's going to cut it down to. It could be way shorter. But we did talk about that. I mentioned to him that this is more of a Euro-style approach to washing, and this is something that we've been experiencing and playing with for many, many years. This is his, I don't want to say his first act or his first steps into this direction, but it's something that he's really liking the results of. I guess he's really liking.
He's really been enjoying the Built Hamper stuff. We've known about Built Hamper for years and heard many people say they like the clay bars, that kind of stuff. Like, we get it. We're aware of it.
So he's really liking the Built Hamper Touchless, and he's using it in a lot of different videos, right? He's using a ton of videos.
It all over right now.
It seems that he's using that with almost every wash. I don't think he is using it with every wash, but I did ask him how often he's using it, and he said he's using it more often than what he thought.
Yeah.
Man,
he just loves it.
I'm going to still rely on kind of what me and Levi have kind of concluded to, that pre-wash is fantastic when you need it. It is not something you need to be doing every month, every week, every wash. It's something that you need to be using really on an as-needed basis, or when you genuinely feel that lubrication may not be enough. So you'll know this based on where you live and how much dirt your car accumulates and whatnot. But I know here in Idaho, where it's dry but dusty, but mostly dry, I feel comfortable and confident using Active Foam or Super Foam or reactive shampoo every 4 months as like a quick. I'm talking like a quick.
I mean,
pre-wash.
Even that's bordering on a lot, but
4 months, every 6 months, once a year.
Once or twice a year. Like once a year,
maybe
sure.
is probably
twice a year. Okay. Any more than that, though, it seems crazy. And specifying specifically when it's on your own vehicles that you've maintained, and you know.
Well, I'm saying specifically along the lines of mixing it up into a foam cannon, shooting your car down with it, letting it sit, and then rinsing it off. I'm saying that you could probably get away with every 4 months.
Yeah,
I mean, just if you want to enjoy the smell or whatever it is, but that's not something that you're doing a whole lot. I mean, not realistically, not around here. However, if it's a customer vehicle that's been brought into me, and they go, "Hey, this hasn't been professionally detailed in like ever."
If it was like that 996 when we first saw it, I would have felt comfortable doing that.
Or like something that's got back from a body shop or something, or not a body shop, something that just got back from a mechanic shop, or something that just got back from like dry blasting or
Copart yard or something.
Whatever.
Like,
then sure, I'm gonna jump straight into one of those. Absolutely, 100%. Sure. But on my own vehicles, this is just something that's just not. I don't really need to be doing this. And I was trying to tell Matt. I said, "Hey, I don't know if you need to be doing this maybe as often as you're doing it." And he's just kind of, not want to say argued back, but just said, well, this is something that he enjoys and something he's been testing out. So we had talked about actually reactivation shampoo. I don't know if it was in that video or which video it was in, but I kind of explained to him, I said, hey, you Matt, don't need this product. Not really. I mean, it's a good product, but you specifically do not need this for your own vehicles. And he took that as, well, it's garbage, and just threw it away.
No, because he can understand nuance if you approach it right, but a lot of stuff with him can end up seeming black and white when it really shouldn't be.
Well, I kind of explained that. I go, that reactivation shampoo is going to be about the same thing as your built handle touchless, and he's like, oh, okay, so I don't need it then. I go, well, no. You're going to have...
and then he just walks over the trash can.
It's going to be slight repetition there. I mean, really, we sell active foam, super foam, and reactive shampoo because reactive shampoo, it truly is a different chemical makeup than super foam and active foam. But I guess to the point there, active foam being... a pH of 9, right, is something that could be more usable, and it does smell awesome. I freaking love the way it smells.
But
it's going to be more usable than super foam.
That's pretty extreme.
Super foam, to the point of a detailer who's detailing cars right off the bat that haven't been touched in years and years and years.
If I don't know where that car's been and it looks pretty rough, super foam.
Super foam's going to be a great starting point because...
But once it's been super foamed, you probably shouldn't have to do that again for another year longer or so.
So, so now... The other question now above, so popularizing the Built Hamber products. I think Built Hamber, for people that already know that their products are fantastic.
Clean and Shiny's been selling that stuff for years, including Labos Cosmetica as well.
I think once they start making their way more over here to the U.S. and the distribution networks start and whatnot, I think that it'll be probably a pretty successful brand. Mm-hmm. Do I think Built Hamber products are that much better than Kosh Chemie products? No, I think that they're probably right in line. If not, I think Kosh Chemie still does certain things better than Built Hamber from some of the chemicals that I have tried. I will say that Built Hamber's clay is phenomenal.
Built Hamber's clay was very
fantastic clay. I mean,
that was kind of your original introduction to Built Hamber, wasn't it?
It was the first thing I ever used was Built Hamber's clay.
Was that through John, or was that just on your own?
No, that was through Jim White recommended.
Oh, right.
Or no. Jim White. No. John. Who the heck? Maybe it was John.
Because I feel like John was always, ahead of the curve on that stuff, but like that's not new over there. That's like well known in those parts for sure. But here in the U.S., we were aware of it, but there weren't necessarily a ton of opportunities to get your hands on it so much over here, unless you bought overseas and had it shipped over, and usually there's expense and process associated with it. I get that, but like I feel like with Labos Cosmetica and that as well, there's just been more videos by influencers lately, so people are suddenly interested when they've been around for a while.
Labos Cosmetica has tried to make its way into the U.S. market several times over the last, I'm going to say 5 years.
Longer, I feel like.
There's been several attempts to bring that over. But it seems like this
last year, everybody's suddenly talking about it.
And popularize the Labos Cosmetica products. And the products were never bad. They were never bad products. I think the products always worked totally fine.
We saw them on wax stock every time.
The cost was high. The sizing was incorrect for our market. Like, for example, they have a soap there, one of their soaps. Came in a 500 milliliter bottle. Why would I ever buy a 500 milliliter bottle of soap nowadays, right?
That's gonna go fast.
When pints, right, 1 liter size, pint size, 32 ounces exist. And I'm like, you're going to blow through 500 milliliters so fast and you just spent $30 on that 500 milliliter bottle of soap? That's ridiculous. That's like,
But
especially
once
if you're,
again, different strokes for different
especially if you're
folks.
also foaming it. Now, the Labo Cosmetica products do smell really good. I mean, it's very, very Italian brand. Obviously, I love it because everything smells like...
It's stylish.
Most of it smells like cologne, or it smells very piney. It smells really good. But they did a rebrand of their bottles, which has been good, but everything is still blue. Yeah. Which is one problem. Everything's still
just
kind of
not being able
to
tell stuff apart.
The names of the products are still slightly confusing, but it may arguably maybe no more confusing than Coach Kami's products.
But it looks good. It's not a matter of it not looking good. It's just when you take a glance at it, could you tell one apart from the other, like right off the bat? Maybe not necessarily.
No, not really. But again, you would have to see what the distribution network is going to look like for Labo's Cosmetica. You're going to have to see if really it's actually financially viable
long
to
term.
Purchase those products as a consumer and use those for and check the effectiveness, do a comparison of the products that already exist here today that we have available that are priced exceptionally well, and you're going to have to it's going to come down to what's going to stick around long term.
Yeah,
right?
You're like, oh, I'm paying 40% more. Is it 40% better than what I'm already using? Probably not. Is it about equal? Oh, I'm sure it's right in the ballpark or something along those lines, depending on which product you're using.
Yeah.
But if you're an end user, if you're somebody who's just doing it for themselves, have at it. Like, do what you want because it makes you happy. Your detailing is therapy. That's a different approach. But if you're running a business, that's when you really got to be thinking about your bottom line and how you approach this stuff rather than just necessarily following fads.
I will say that over these last few years, if I've learned anything, is that anything that comes from across the pond that is
tough.
bottled and manufactured there, right? There's always cost to be added to it, and there's just more kind of hoops to jump through as distributors, retailers.
You'll work to set up a U.S. distributor network first. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Like in the case of Koch, they had to finally get it to the U.S. first, and then from there it could be distributed to folks around the U.S. Same thing with G-Tech. Same thing with, you name your favorite brand that's not from the U.S., chances are at some point it had to go through that process. But it is way harder if it goes through, like, a single detailer is importing this stuff, and they're selling it because the name brand is hot right now, but they're only taking in, like, maybe a few hundred bottles, maybe 1,000 bottles of stuff at a time. That is not a long-term growth strategy. Like, that's not going to last. So it's something that you need to have somebody who moves in from, like, the company or establishes some kind of home base in the U.S. to bring those products in at a much better rate, so that then it's a much more comparable exercise against other products that already exist here in the United States.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of a tangent, but it's always something that I think the folks who are just commenting on detailing videos, they're not going that deep into it usually. Some of you do, absolutely. I know some of you guys can get really in the weeds on it, but for the average user, it's just, what's cool today?
Yeah.
I'm interested in a thing, that looks new, that looks cool. I'm going to try that out. Yeah, absolutely. Go try it out. Yeah.
I love trying new products. I also love foreign products. I think they're just always just a ton of fun for us to use here. But I just know that there's that particular brand. They've been trying. Some people have been trying, not they, but people in general have been trying to get that over. And there's been multiple attempts to get that over here and make it a viable solution here within the U.S. And at the price point, with logistics and shipping and all of that, I don't know if it could outdo what's already been done here and what already currently exists here.
So the enthusiasts are there for it. It's just a matter of getting a business case made.
Now, I will say that there is a Portuguese brand, apparently.
Oh, no.
That Matt...
He's automatically going to be like, import it. We need it now.
That Matt had on his shelf.
I know. Was talking about it. You asked
with all of that said, right?
Did we record you asking about that? I wonder.
We were doing anything as garage tour. And
okay.
I said, well,
we'll have that in the garage tour.
I said, what's that? He goes, it's a Portuguese brand. I go...
He didn't know you were Portuguese, though. He didn't know you were, immediately you lit up.
Portuguese detailing brand?
Yeah.
I was like, my mouth was watering. My mouth is watering right now. I go, so how do we get that here in the U.S., right? Talk to my brethren. I don't speak any Portuguese, but, it makes sense. So, anyways, we'll have to figure that out later.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps answer it for everybody else who is curious about that and how that generally works.
Well, I didn't really answer the question. Do I think it's better for coatings to break down or remove dirt chemically to reduce abrasion or rely on lubrication alone? I think regardless, there's going to be some type of breakdown of that ceramic coating, whether it is abrasion or whether it is chemically the chemical reaction on that coating. And so there's going to be something that's going to constantly weather it. I do think that, based off of my experience, I think that some chemical reactions are actually, or some chemicals are harsher on ceramic coatings than mild abrasion would be from just lubrication alone in the long run. And to be honest, I would rather have a coating fail over years and years and years with slight micro marring on it from some type of abrasion than patches of coating start to fail prematurely from chemicals not being diluted correctly and being on the surface for too long, because I have too much to risk with chemical etching, staining, and all of that when using chemicals in a variety of conditions than I am going to have with the chance that my pH balanced soap isn't covering an area and my premium microfiber mitt doesn't glide across that dirt beautifully and it slightly micromars it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bearded Hunter says, what is up, my dudes?
Hey. Nice to see you
Hope your
too.
Thursday is going great. And he goes, woohoo, or woo-woo.
And then he woohoos. All right. And then we got Aaron Barr here saying, are there any new towels being dropped this year? Maybe a new color of a current towel. Kind of a broad question, but
there is, Aaron,
there's new stuff being dropped.
There is a couple of things that we're working on right now. I don't know if I particularly say they're super exciting. There are different colors for sure. People do like different colors, but we have a couple things in the works.
There's a cycle to the way we do things here, and it may not necessarily be the most advantageous for being able to sell a new product right away, but usually like when the newest stuff we get developed finally becomes available to us, it's almost near the end of the detailing season, and then we kind of have to be ready for that going into the following year. But through the course of this year, you will see new stuff coming from us. As always, we'll have stuff in the works. We're always, trying stuff in the background, products and chemicals, you name it, tools, etc. Let me make sure I'm on the correct page here. I don't want to lose anybody. Looks like there's the Jeff C ones. There's Bitter Hunter. Okay, here we go. First from Puerto Rico, Humberto saying, TRC SEMA, the concentrated MTE. That's a good way to look at it, yeah. It's basically just taking MTE Lite, turning it into a broadcast format, and you're able to comment on it as we go along. Makes it pretty fun. And there's the woohoo. All right, that was a missed one. Then we got Bar, okay, that one. And then Superado, heard P&S will be dropping several new products at TRC SEMA.
I believe
They've got some stuff. We know they've got some stuff.
Yeah.
We do get previews of, different things for presentations. But obviously, we are not allowed to comment on any of it. So just know that TRC SEMA will feature some hot newness, new hotness, however you want to look at that. David Boyce.
Is Heather coming from the UK? I wished, man. I don't know 100% for sure. The offers out there. She is moving, and that's the tough spot. That's the tough part. Is like she's moving, and I don't want to hinder her move with coming out to here. But I do think that she'd just be super awesome here. I think she would love to see the operation. She is so sweet and she is so nice. We met her at Waxstock, and she really is just a lovely person, and she is obviously very, very talented. She's really good at what she does.
Well, she owns a Miata. She's a good person. Only good people own Miatas.
Yep, she owns the Miata that you want, basically.
Yeah, basically. I want an ND, so I'm about it. So, two thumbs up for Heather.
Moving on here, we've got Dabbler Detail that says, Joey Belinsky, hey bud, I'm not here. Okay.
And spilled
your
the
secret,
tea.
Your secret is somewhat safe.
And then something about Sydney saying something on their podcast.
Oh.
But they wouldn't give any clues.
We'll leave it there then.
So we'll see what that is. This is page 3. On to page 2. Wait a second. Was there a new update there? Oh. Oh, yeah. Tony shut that down quick. Sounds about right. Tony is definitely looking out there. It's part for my collection to use and part for my storefront. Okay, Hans.
Nice.
Now that we understand. He's talking about his massive order that he had.
Yeah.
Also had a few gifts for people I know. Okay, so it's not even all for him. Okay.
Nice.
Well, that softens it up a little bit. Anthony, this one's yours.
Alex Dewar says, I'm so jazzed for the TRC toques.
Little beanie.
What?
It's a Canadian thing. They call beanies toques. So a little beanie
That's
hat
not
for
even
us.
remotely. Dane, I was just in Canada.
Well, apparently you didn't, immerse yourself in the language, so you didn't capture all of it.
Well, it was a very small part of Canada.
Sounds like you weren't doing your work there, bud. Hey.
Yeah. Very small part of Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. Sure.
Anyways, moving on here, we've got Rick Smith says lots of new stuff at TRC. Don't forget to use Joey 10 and save you some change.
Hey.
I like that, Rick. I like that a lot.
Rick, you're doing the Lord's work there. Good job.
Keep it up. Tell your friends.
Phone a friend. In Focus. You got In Focus.
In Focus says, you guys get me with the color. I ordered that new brush and the Ultra Rip and Rag. Nice, dude. Yeah.
You won't be disappointed. The Ultra Rip and Rag is like stupid nice to have on a roll. Like you wouldn't expect a towel that good to be there.
I think you're really gonna like the brush and everything like that in your lineup. I mean, you've got a grill that needs cleaning on that car, right? Bam. This brush is gonna be perfect for that. It's gonna be great for wheels too and all of that. So you're gonna have a good time. Jeff C says, I can't read what that says, but it seems to be correct, huh?
He's coughing. Yeah, no, I can confirm it looks correct. I just can't read it.
The coughs look right.
Yeah.
David Boy says, will the Ego 3200 cordless power washer be at TRC SEMA? I actually
Ego
think
will be there. Whether they bring that,
it will.
Maybe. There's possibility.
I think there's going to be some really cool Ego products there for sure. RJ says best solution for auto foam and the IK Pro 12. Kit uses a wheel cleaner for well-kept factory. Yes, and yes. And best dilution. I mean, you're really looking at the main soap dilution for all IKs, which is like basically like a 34-to-1. So I mean, you're looking at
always leave room for air too. Don't just fill it up to the very tippy top. Leave room for air.
I would throw in whatever it is. I think I throw in 3 ounces into that bad boy, 4 ounces into that bad boy, and then fill it up to the fill spot. I mean, fill it up to your mark, and then call it good. Yeah, that'd probably be about right. Yeah,
done and
3 or 4 ounces.
David Boyce.
What brush kind of resembles the Viking soft brush made in Denmark? Yes. So the Viking brush, I loved not necessarily the size. I love the thinness of that. And so that was one of the brushes that we checked out when we were making this brush. We did look at that brush, but we wanted to make a lot of improvements on that.
Yeah, if you held them side by side, they're very different. But you can see where some of the ideas come into play.
Size, yeah, mainly the thinness. I like the thinness of it.
Because a lot of those brushes that you'd normally compete with are just a big chunky thing.
Big, yeah.
Just a big old weapon. You don't necessarily need that.
Yeah. Rick Smith says, what are your thoughts on what Adam was saying about coating maintenance longevity? I don't know. I don't really have any. I mean,
it was okay. So in the group chat I had where Tony was part of that, good old Tony, he seemed like concerned, like, oh my goodness, aren't you worried that somebody was talking about that, and yet companies that you know and love are carrying coatings that have year ratings on them. I mean, I told him I understood it, but at the same time, one person's opinion doesn't necessarily mean that a company is just immediately going to change the way they approach their marketing, any of that stuff. I think that, Adam was onto something there. I personally kind of like how he was looking at that, but I know, like, for companies that sell coatings, it may or may not make the most sense for them to do it that way. I likened it to how people complain about doing, dumb faces and YouTube thumbnails. And I'm like, I'm sorry, the algorithm responds positively when you do that. People watch it more, and I'm not doing my job if I'm making a thumbnail where I don't feature something like that unless people see the thing that we're trying to get out there. I'm not doing my job properly and giving proper service to the company that I work for if I'm not doing the most to try and make the best, most, clickable thumbnails possible. So in that way, I understand if people are more drawn to a year's rating on coatings, it doesn't change what's inside the bottle, just like a thumbnail doesn't change what's inside the video, the content. It's just a matter of somebody to, use their brain, and when they're watching it, decide, oh, is this for me or is this not for me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's my take.
I get a lot of what Adam's saying. I understand a lot of what Adam's saying. I think that there's, kind of going back to what we were talking about, there's got to be a rating system that might be different than a year rating. As far as maintenance and longevity goes, I could see both sides. I could see the fact that a person like myself, it's totally worth spending the extra money for a 7-year, 10-year coating because I know what I know and I'm going to maintain it to the best of my abilities.
But that's not necessarily because you believe a coating is going to last that exact amount of time and you're going to hold everybody's feet to the fire if it doesn't. You know you're maintaining properly. There's a chance it could last that long. You just know, likelihood, regardless of what specific year is listed, a higher year rating on a coating, it's probably going to be tougher or last longer than this 1 or 3 year one over here. Regardless of my maintenance process being the same on both, this longer one is going to last longer. It's just a matter of what it's subjected to.
Yeah.
Not to step all over it. I want to give you a chance to talk. It's just this is something that gets me fired up when I hear people get all sensitive about it. But it's like,
I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about that one. Hans Closen says he did a black S2000 with 5,100 kilometers on it this past weekend.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, Hans, I love that.
So they got those up where you are, huh?
I love that.
Probably really nice out on those roads.
5,100 kilometers. So
that's nothing.
What, like 2,600 miles?
That's barely any miles.
3,000.
That is a very
3,000 miles.
Was this like a museum piece? How did it have so few miles, Hans? Jeez. Or are you missing a zero?
Jeez, I'm guessing. Yeah.
That would if you had an extra zero on there, maybe it'd be like in the 20s or 30s of thousands of miles. That might make a little more sense. But
the one who shall remain nameless says, I think you threw out some new names.
Yeah, that's right. We're trying, man.
I think Jonah and Judas were definitely some new ones.
Zachariah.
Nathan.
Oh, good old Nate. What's Nate saying?
Dane isn't computing the N+1 calculation, the perfect number
basically
of cars.
Whatever you have right now plus the new one.
Yes.
I was thinking you had to trade something in order to make space and or dollars to fit the new thing in. But you were just like, no, I'm living in my dream, Dane. Don't take my dream away from me.
Yeah.
And now I could see that. I respect that.
Joey Belinsky says he also doesn't put stripes on his mats. Anthony and I grow more and more alike every day. I'm starting to worry. You should be worried. You should. Simon Birch. Oh, my gosh.
Hey.
Yellow from Denmark. The
That's
one and
where
only.
You were? Why did I never think he was from Denmark?
Of course Simon Birch is from Denmark.
I mean, I just, for some reason, I knew he wasn't in the U.S. I knew he was in Europe, but I didn't know he was in Denmark.
Do you think he was in the U.K.?
No, I thought he was in a different European country. I can't exactly place it.
Simon Birch himself was based out of where? The U.S.? Movie?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Okay. Happy Friday Eve. And then Jeff C says, sorry, that was a lot of words.
No, man, it's good. It encourages conversation, so I like that.
And then Simon says, do you have a certain test methods you use when testing out a coating for durability, perhaps chemicals that it would see during its lifetime? Yeah, that's a good question. So, yes. Basically, what we'll do, if we're carrying a new coating or if a coating company is coming to us with something new or exciting, whatever it may be, we usually ask them what kind of weather testing they've done, what kind of testing have they done on their own, have they done independent testing, has everything they've done been in-house, and almost every single company that we do sell coatings from has always had independent testing done on all their coatings, and they usually bring us that data for us to check out and look at, which is always cool.
And we're not just talking about some guy in his garage pouring some acid on a coating and going,
no,
like what, for example, when we went to, go check out like Diamond Protect setup and stuff, they literally had like actual data from a laboratory that did like accelerated weather testing and all kinds of stuff. It was not just some rando chalking up numbers on a whiteboard for a YouTube video or something. It was legit laboratory testing.
My mind has gone completely blank on the particular labs that they were sent to, but they were very prestigious labs where I believe one formula, right? I think one chemical. Gosh, what was it? Was it like 50,000? 50,000, I think it was what it was to get that particular chemical tested.
Which product are we talking about?
I think it was Diamond Protect. I think they
was this for their Diamond Body like 120?
I think it was 120 or 36. I can't remember what the cost of that testing was, but it was like astronomical.
Oh no, like
it was
tens of thousands.
Yeah, it was like tens of thousands, and it was like jaw dropping. And I go, holy smokes!
Like they did their homework.
I mean, so there's certain tests like that which are fantastic to see, but in terms of stuff that we'll do in-house here, typically when we're testing on a coating or something's been sent to us months and months and months in advance and we've put it on something, whether it's somebody's vehicle that works here,
Yeah.
a family friend's vehicle, whatever, something that we can monitor over time.
It's real world testing.
We'll throw things that we would we'll throw things on it that we think makes sense to throw at it. So we'll spray Optimum Power Cleanup full strength on it. We'll use Green Start full strength. We'll use something like Magic Wheel Cleaner. We'll use something like, Super Foam. We'll use, we've used acids, like wheel acids on certain coatings in the past. We've used different chemicals and things like that we've thrown on there. But it's in terms of like abrasion resistance, I'll do tests with certain brushes. I'll do tests with wash mitts dry. I'll do tests with towels dry on dusty areas. But I'm not going to I'm not taking like steel wool to things, and I'm not throwing sand at people's cars. Like that's not what I'm doing, because that's not something that would be commonly done.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And once again, like, just because you go through all that laboratory testing, you do all the fancy, very expensive, true, like, crazy accelerated weather testing, all that stuff, still, when you take it into your real world situation, whatever that may be, I know there's YouTubers who do this, there's regular people who just test different coatings on cars, and then they have a totally different experience. The results are different, whatever. There's a million reasons why that could be, but it's not to say it doesn't happen. I just know for all the testing that may be done, there's still always that possibility somebody just has a particular set of circumstances. The results are different. So it's really hard to promise something, when you're doing that, but you always try and find, like, the best possible compromise.
Yeah, true. Here we go. So we have reached the halfway point where we are going to go to a brief break where you're going to hear some messages from ourselves as well as some of our friends and family of the Rag Company.
Maybe a TRC SEMA.
Maybe a TRC SEMA ad or two. Who knows? But here after this, we're going to be back with more questions, more answers, and everything in between. So we'll see you in just a few.
Go ahead, get dirty. P&S Off-Road.
Holy cow!
Wow!
Dane, that was amazing!
Dane, I didn't know you could do any of that stuff.
Neither did I.
Wow!
Well, now that you're an actual bartender,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe whip us up some extra
Oh,
cocktails.
yeah!
I mean,
Dane, do it!
I mean, it's my first day, but let me see what I can whip up.
Nice. Oh!
What?
Jeez, Dane!
What?
Oh my God!
Wow, Dane.
Dane!
For being your first day, it's pretty amazing. Looking for feedback. Let me know what you think.
Oh my God! Stuff smells amazing!
Good, all right.
Well, Levi, Dane, cheers, man.
Cheers. Nice.
Bottoms up.
Cheers. Thanks, Dane. Oh my God! God, why are you spitting my drink up? I worked hard on that. What is in it? Is that polymers?
My mouth is encapsulating.
Why would you even know what polymers taste like?
Tastes like chemicals. Did you feed us chemicals?
What did you put in this?
Oh.
I made you a nice drink. These are supposed to be. Guys, that's my car.
What?
You hit my car. God, guys, if you didn't want the drinks, you could have just given them back to me or something.
Dane, are you seeing that shine over there? On the car. Oh my God. Dane, what did you put in that stuff?
What, in your drinks?
Yeah.
Some water and some Absolute.
Absolute vodka?
No? PNS Double Black Absolute Rinseless. Wow. Wait a minute. Are you trying to poison us?
Dane! Did you just make us drink rinseless wash?
No, definitely didn't do that.
Absolute Rinseless Wash is not for oral or suppository consumption.
Looks pretty good.
It does, however, leave a hell of a clean and smooth surface on your vehicle.
Wow.
PNS Absolute Rinseless Wash. Mix responsibly.
Is that something? I mean, it's pretty good. I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm kind of liking this.
Yeah.
So just don't drink it.
No.
Yeah, let's make sure we don't drink it for the future. But do put it on cars. Yeah, it's good. It's for cars. Put it on a car. Okay. Not inside yet.
Hello, everybody. This is Nate from the Rad Company. Today, I have YouTube video star and sensation Josh Brodel. He does some really great Saturday videos for us. What do you have to say?
Do I need to?
No, you just...
Oh. Thanks for having me, Nate.
Awesome, good, that's great. Why don't you talk in your videos?
Jimmy told me not to.
Really soft-spoken. All right, so we're coming at you with an event announcement called TRC SEMA, which is the Rad Company Media Access. That is just going to be... Are you pretty excited for that?
Oh, definitely. Super excited.
Looks like it's happening from April 1st to the 4th of 2024, Monday through Thursday. Do you think you got time for that? Your free time?
Yeah, I think I can get that on the schedule.
Or stream it. You can stream it. Yeah, anywhere you watch YouTube videos.
Oh, YouTube Live.
Look at that. The man just oozes detailing. We're looking forward for all those brands and everyone to show up, and just for the kids at home, just kind of wrap it up with a few words of wisdom for the detailing fanatics.
You guys definitely don't want to miss it.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you there.
Welcome back to the second half of the Rad Company Q&A Thursday. Hello. And, of course, I'm your host, Dane Hannon. To my left, Anthony Fisher, fellow host. And we are going to talk through some of your detailing questions, your car comments, all that good stuff. We were on a roll before, but it's kind of like a more chill day, but in a good way, because we're able to have like a deeper conversation about some of these topics. I like it. So if you guys have more complex questions, bring them on. We're going to have some fun. Moving back to them, let me get Kevin up on the horn here.
Okay.
There we are.
We have hello, boys. Any suggestion to combine Green Star regular soap in the pre-wash stage, foam cannon to add power in the step? Any dilution ratio? Thanks. Kind of depends on which soap you're throwing in. I would assume you're probably using GSF. That's the preferred combination with GSF and Green Star. It really depends. You could throw in an ounce. You can throw in several ounces into it. I don't really have a dilution. Not necessarily. But if you're adding like 200 mils of GSF, I don't know. You could say 50 mils of Green Star. You could say 100 mils of Green Star. I really suppose it's just how much cleaning power you're looking for. Yeah. That's my answer. How much cleaning power you're looking for.
All right. Simple enough.
First from Puerto Rico. says, and you haven't seen Built Hamburger, Adam Mac, and Deoxy. No, I haven't. No, I have not.
Hydrate 80.
I have not used those products.
All sound enticing, though.
They do.
Yeah.
Joey Belinsky says, will you get any of the new Stern Glass scents, or is Jack hoarding all of those overseas? The hard part about pulling on over some new scents, especially from Jack over there, is some of the stuff he's kind of done as limited stuff. Other stuff he's done as promotional items and whatnot.
Yeah.
And quantity-wise, we would have to verify, is that something we're going to stock long-term? Is that something that he's going to continue making long-term? And as of right now, the Stekata, the original, seems to be the most appropriate for us in terms of how much stock we have, the long-term effectiveness of that as being a product in the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes both ways too. Like with our UK distributors, European distributors, there will be stuff where people will ask, our friends, because obviously our show reaches a wide array of people all around the world. And when we release stuff here on the ragcompany.com website, it's generally geared more for a U.S. audience. But obviously, we welcome anybody from all over the place, and we have distributors for a reason. However, they will sometimes ask, "Oh, can I get that deal? Can I get that product?" And that's not necessarily something we have available internationally.
Yeah.
So, always something to work on, but the best thing you can do is just speak up about it, show the interest is there, and from there can always be new decisions made. Mm-hmm. So, keep at it.
Fellas, ladies.
That's it. That's all Eddie's saying.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
And
hello.
then we have Kevin.
Carpet stripes.
Judas.
Are you calling Judas now?
Jebediah.
Oh, no. Why are you going all biblical with this?
I don't know. I guess I haven't thrown John.
Beelzebub. Okay,
Francis.
Carpet stripes. I don't know how many people, that have that. Wow, I'm trying to read this. I don't know many people they have much, if any, exposed carpet here in New England. That's a sentence. How does one stripe rubber floor liners? How does one stripe rubber floor liners? You don't, because it's rubber. It doesn't have a pile or a thread.
There's a freakish amount of people out there, believe it or not, who do not run all seasons or who do not run rubber mats.
Which is crazy to me.
I thought that would be more like
I feel like
nowadays.
When I buy a new car, which used to be very often, one of the very first things I do, put new rubber floor mats in it. Later on, I got a little bougie. I got WeatherTechs with like the Jag and the Flex. But before that, I was still going down to like my local whatever store, finding rubber floor mats I could cut to fit, put them in there. Even if they're cheap, it just takes the wear and tear off the carpet.
Yeah.
So to me, that it's like a no-brainer. But it's also where we live, right? So
what's strange, where you live too, I think also depends on how people sell stuff. So like for example, like here in Idaho, if you go buy a 4Runner, it does not come with carpet mats.
Which
the
seems
the 4Runner comes with rubber mats.
Yeah.
And if actually that's another good thing. I don't think I mentioned this last week.
If it only came with carpet, that would feel like a crime.
Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't. My parents bought a new car.
You were telling us. I don't know if you told these guys.
Yeah, I don't think I told you guys. My parents bought a new car, right? My parents, they've owned the same cars for the last 10 years. My dad has a 2000, I don't know, is it a 14 or 15 Tundra? Similar to Nate's Tundra, essentially same body style.
Pre-update.
Well, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
But it's a facelift one.
Yeah, so he's had that Tundra
second gen facelift
for many, many years. And my mom has driven a 2013 Subaru Outback for the past 11 years, right?
13.
They bought that brand new. And she had that Outback for forever. I really think that Outback only has like 80,000 miles on it or whatever it was. But
barring a head gasket issue, they're still great cars.
Great cars. I mean, she hasn't had one issue with that car. Yeah. But my parents basically wanted to get my mom into something newer, something a little bit nicer, because that Outback that she has was like bare bones model. Like,
so it was like a stripper base model.
Basically, it didn't really have anything.
Okay,
it didn't have any.
We're not
extra
talking
features.
like your 3.6R or like like in the olden days the LL Bean.
Nope. It's just I think it's your standard, your standard stuff. So then my parents wanted to get something just a little bit nicer.
No GT here.
Now they're a little older, and so they did a lot of research. They were highly considering getting a Highlander, right?
Okay.
Toyota Highlanders are not particularly cheap. And
it's not an exciting vehicle, but if you just need something that's going to haul a lot of stuff and is going to be reliable, and you don't want to have to think about every morning going out, is it going to work today? Highlander is a perfectly solid choice for a family. Totally makes sense.
They were thinking about a Highlander, and they had checked out some other options. But what's funny is I kind of told them, I said, "Hey, have you guys checked out any I don't know if you guys checked out the new Kias or the new Hyundais at all, but have you guys even checked those out?"
I feel like older folks overlook it because they're so used to the stereotypes from the 90s and the 2000s that they just think, well, that's junk. Why would I buy that?
My dad was like, oh, Hyundai, I mean, have they made those vehicles better? And I was like, oh, yes.
They are.
I said
better.
They have made them significantly better, like a top competitor better.
Now, okay, before somebody makes a comment about like Theta 4-cylinder engines or whatever, and they're blowing up and all that stuff, that's a separate thing. That's its own thing, but that's not what we're talking about here. Just so we cover that before somebody gets all excited.
Yeah. So they were talking about okay, maybe we'll check out a Hyundai. And I said, well, Kia's has the Telluride. It's also pretty awesome.
Probably one of the most popular mid-size SUVs in existence.
Yeah.
The Telluride is crazy.
Telluride's super nice too. And so I was trying to tell my parents like, hey, you guys can go look at some of the other options, right? Toyota's great for resale value in some cases, but the Highlander, you're spending like $50,000 and you're getting not a lot of stuff for not a lot of amenities for $50,000.
Toyota and Honda, to a lesser extent, trade on their name.
Yeah.
Like, really, the reputation they built in the 90s.
My mom likes our 4Runner, but she doesn't like the height of it, and she also doesn't particularly... She's not in love with the 4Runner.
Let's just say, as someone who owned a Toyota Tacoma, it is one of the least inspiring driving experiences I can think of. 4Runner, Tacoma, probably Highlander, any of that stuff. It's like, it's reliable, but man, when I'm driving, the last thing I'm thinking about is driving. Some people want that. Yeah. Some people want that.
So my parents surprised me. They called me on Saturday when I was sitting in my Quick Jacks, and they said, hey, we're going to stop by. We were driving something we want you to check out. We haven't bought it.
But so they were on a test drive.
They were on a test drive, but we want you to see it, and we want you to drive it, and we want you to just give us your honest thoughts, right? And I said, okay. I was standing outside my front yard.
They didn't tell you what it was.
They didn't tell me what it was. I was standing in front of my front yard, and I was like, okay, where's this Highlander? When's this Highlander going to roll up?
In? All right.
Where's the Highlander? Where's the Highlander? So I'm like looking around, and no Highlander. And then I see a flicker from like some LED headlights, and I go... well, what's that, right? I didn't even know what the heck it was till it was like really on my street. And I go, huh? So my parents, they pull up in a Hyundai Santa Fe.
2023 model.
2023.
The 2024 is a new, very different looking model, but the 23 is the one that's been around for a few years at this point. They
pull up in the 23, and I look at it, and I go, dang, this is quite nice, right? And they go, what do you think? It's a Hyundai. And we took your word, and we went and picked this thing up, and we're just driving it around. And they were like, you got to drive it, Anthony. And I'm like...
So they were already kind of sold on it?
Yeah, they were like, you got to drive it. I'm like, why do I got to drive it? I know that they're making good cars, but I think it's, pretty nice. And we opened up and looked at it, and they told me it was the calligraphy model. And diamond stitch seats, Caligula had mood lighting, had all this stuff, and I did go and take it for a drive. Right? Do you think freaking quick?
I mean, it makes about the same horsepower that your Evo did stock, but it's a much heavier vehicle.
It's a heavier vehicle, but I don't know if it's the gearing or whatever it may be.
It's got to be down to the gearing, because does it have like 8 or 10 gears or something?
It's a DCT. Yeah, it's a DC.
Yeah. It shifts fast.
It's an 8-speed DCT.
Okay.
And
it's a peppy experience.
So it's a turbo 2.5.
Turbo 4. Okay.
Yeah, we put that thing in sport mode, and I was like, hot.
Well,
damn,
the fact that it's a turbo 4 means it's going to have torque.
Dude, this thing, it was quick. So took it for a drive. Anyways, so they ended up purchasing it, right? Yeah. And they absolutely are like they're head over heels. They absolutely love that thing.
Great.
And you know what? I think it's pretty awesome as well.
Warranties are crazy.
Warranties are crazy good. And but I guess to the point where I was getting to is they got that car, and I go, you should ask them if it's going to come with floor mats, right? And because they were driving with just
weren't even thinking
just
about
the dealer paper mats in there, and they go, yeah, it does come with floor mats. And my dad was like, well, yeah, do I ask them for the rubber ones? I'm like, you need to ask them if it comes with rubber or cloth, because they might give you one or the other, but I'm assuming they're going to try to give you rubber. So apparently that calligraphy model, I believe it comes with rubber. And if you want the cloth mats, you have to purchase them separately, or vice versa, for whatever it is,
On
200.
modern cars, there's usually a little spot where you can like button them into place too.
Yeah.
They have like little mounts that you
It's
put
like
them
$200 and something, whatever it was. And so they end up getting the mats for free.
on. Still cheaper than your RSX floor mats.
Oh my God, good God. Those are insane. I don't want to talk about that. But they did give my parents both sets of mats for free. But I guess to the main point here, I mean, I don't know how many cars still are rocking nothing but carpet.
Yeah.
But if you go to a junkyard, every car in there has carpet mats. I don't think I've ever actually seen a car in the junkyard with any type of rubber mat or...
I think it's because people pull them out.
People pull them out, they take them, they sell them. But I can't even tell you the last time. I've never actually seen a WeatherTech set of mats in any car in the 100 times I've been to a junkyard.
The owner either takes them out or somebody hunting through the place gets those first. Like when the car shows up, WeatherTech mats, immediately. Yoink.
Yeah, I don't see any rubber mats. Hence why I couldn't ever find my freaking rubber RSX mats. I would have never found them. They would have always been taken.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, back to the main point.
Don't feel bad
here.
going on a long tangent though, because I've been looking the comments. We only have one page ahead of us, so we can take our time on these. So it's okay. But yeah,
EC Detail says, who are we talking about?
that was back during the Built Hamburg Labels Cosmetica conversation, and they filled them in. So we're good there.
Hans says, just a few more days and I will fly to the UK. I will be at the Detailing Summit in Hull. I will be one of the speakers there. I'll talk about detailing and mental health and the IDA. Hans, that's amazing.
Awesome, Hans. Congrats.
Congratulations. I hope you absolutely kill it. I hope that you scare people with your dragon tattoo.
I'm kidding. With the dragon tattoo.
No, I hope you have a very good time.
Let us know how it goes after the fact.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes. We're really excited for you.
Maybe have somebody record you.
Yeah. Super Auto says Eddie throwing down the gauntlet, and then Darren, who will be here.
Yes.
I believe on his first U.S. adventure.
He's never been to the U.S. before, as far as I know. Maybe he said something about like stopping through Florida like once for like a few hours. Maybe I thought
he
I
didn't
heard.
have his passport.
Or is that a different UK person?
I don't think he has passport. Darren, verify with us.
We talk with a lot of people at Wax Talk, and I swear I had a conversation where someone's like, "I've never been to the U.S. unless you technically count the time I spent in the airport one time." Blah blah blah.
Darren. I'm sorry, because I think most people when they do come to the U.S., usually it's like Vegas, L.A., Florida. New York.
Boise's a little different.
Boise's a little different. I'm hoping
you might like it though.
Maybe Jamie and the boys will mess with them. But like here in the U.S., we have a couple.
Let's just start making up things about Boise.
Yeah, we have a couple things that we do here, right?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know? Here, let us fill you in.
Yeah. If you walk into any hotel, you do have to take your shoes off.
You just have to walk into that lobby in your socks.
In your socks.
You know, nobo's gonna think it's weird because everybody does it.
Everybody's in socks.
He walks in, looks around. I've been had. We're looking forward to it, Darren. We can't wait to have you here. Hans, it's being held at the Leather Repair Company. All right. Awesome.
Nice.
And Joey discussing brands like Built Hamburg and Labels Cosmetica breaking into the U.S. market. Yes, we did discuss that. If you have more to say about that, feel free to share further.
Darren asks, any recommendations what to do in the Salt Lake City airport or my layover? Well, you can grab some pamphlets.
There are many delicious treats because of Salt Lake City, and they like to cook and bake
they
there.
do hand out the Book of Mormon there, so if you want to catch up on some reading, you can do that.
A little light reading.
Very light reading. That's
it literally glows. You open the page. Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Okay.
Join us.
They gave me a real special.
Join us. Sorry. Anyways, moving on. Simon Birch says Red FTW hashtag, and then we have EC Details that says cool.
It's just a bunch of back and forth.
Oh, Simon, a black 1500.
That sounds like a nightmare for laundry.
That would bleed more than I do in Helldivers 2.
Wow. And so you have experience in that game. I do not because I'm an Xbox owner. You own both consoles, so you're able to.
Helldivers 2 is a good time. We've been playing that. It's a good time when the game freaking works. It's only been out like 4 days, whatever it is.
It sounds like you've been having a hard time in the last 2 days.
Getting kicked out of that game constantly because the servers crash. David Cervantes says, do we have an ETA on the new Smittens? I understand that they may be low priority, but I thoroughly enjoy them. They are still continue to be a lower priority, David. Just for right now, I think 2026 or 2025 will be the year of the Smitten. The Smitten Mittens will return at some point then, I think.
That is an official thing. We're not pulling your chain here. Like, for real, the thought is there. However, like we mentioned before on the back burner stuff, the
there's
Smittens
just-
are a little further back on the burner
Yeah.
than some other
We'll
items.
get to it. We
But
will.
it will be gotten to eventually.
AC
gotten
Detail says, bro, you know what hits different those ripping rags? I know,
Eddie,
dude.
you liking the ripping rags? They're a good
Dude,
time, right?
Ripping rags are a fantastic time.
Ripping rag the world.
What's crazy to me? This is actually crazy, but not crazy, but like it.
But as a replacement
It
in your
checks out.
shop,
Well, no. What's crazy to me is Matt, right? So Matt
Oh, yeah.
Mormon over at Obsessed Garage, right?
Yeah.
He loves the OG their shop towels that they have.
Yes.
So he's calling them it's the OG microfiber roll.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling theirs, and he's saving them.
Yeah.
So he rips them, uses them, throws them in the wash, and then he actually just piles them up. So he has
Because
them.
at the end of the day, they are still a high quality microfiber towel.
So he's been saving them, and I just kind of asked him, I go, what are you doing with them? He goes, I just use them for wiping down whatever I need to wipe down. Specifically, I think it's his countertops.
That's
like
great.
all of his, his cabinets and whatnot. I think he's wiping them down with all the rip and rags that he's already used and rewashed. And I told him, I go, dude, people need to know that you can reuse these.
They
and
grab like a microfiber towel. They will pick stuff
Well,
up.
they are microfiber towels, so people should be washing them, basically.
But what
if
I'm
you
getting
can.
at is because people may be inclined to think because, the rip and rag is like disposable, it's cheaper, it's whatever. No, they still function just as good as any other like Terry style microfiber towel in that size range. There's still 70-30 blend, which we do differently than anybody else doing like a rip type rag.
Yep.
So it's definitely really, really good quality towels, even though they are cheap, so to speak.
Yeah, affordable.
Yeah.
Neil White says, hey, TRC, will you be selling the new MTM wide mouth foam cannon bottle? I have no idea yet.
We've heard that a few times.
I have no idea. I normally am on top of that kind of stuff, but I feel like I've only been gone for like the cumulative time of like a couple of weeks.
Maybe a
but
couple weeks,
I went
yeah.
on a family vacation, and then I went on a TRC trip, and for some reason, when we got back, I'm like, I feel like I've been gone for 3 months. Like,
So really it was more like 3 weeks because our trip bridged 2 weeks,
2 weeks,
right in
yeah.
the middle to the other middle, and then we were gone the extra 2 days because that's what you get for being gone over a weekend.
Yep. Hans Closen says, have you guys played with the new Rupes tool yet? Yes, Hans. That well, at SEMA we did, but I have not played with outside of that. We haven't gotten our tool yet for us to have here at
But
TRC.
it's not like you only spent 5 minutes on it. You were in there for like 45 minutes playing around with it, using it
and
on all
then
kinds of different...
before SEMA opened
surfaces and
during the
stuff,
day,
yeah.
and then actually after it closed off, I was there checking it out. So
And, okay, what were your key takeaways with the tool?
the thing is freaking stable. It's quieter.
like lightweight
It's
was a big part
lightweight.
of it.
It's super smooth. It's gonna be the best.
The LED light may feel kind of like a gimmick, but I think for the right people it will
I
make a
think that
difference.
tool is gonna take over.
And I know some
Genuinely.
people are scared of the price, but I think for what went into it, it truly is different than the past polishers they've offered. So it feels justified.
Alex says, who let Anthony into Canada and why wasn't I notified? Well, Alex, I was in
Sorry, Alex.
Canada, Florida.
What?
I was in Canada, Florida. Wink, wink, Dane.
Ah, okay.
I technically did step into Canada.
You did. You did,
just
actually.
happened to-
No, yeah, it just hit me now. There were moose there. There was a lot of flannel.
There was a guy with an accent.
There was a guy with an accent and a guy with an axe.
Yeah.
It was a little late at night, so it's hard to see.
It was
some
late at
things.
night. What was the beer?
Alcohol
what
could
was-
have also made it a little difficult to
What
see
was
some
what was
things.
the Canadian beer they have there?
Oh, it's Molson.
Molson.
Everybody now, granted, like
Yeah.
the same way that Australians, when they hear like an American say Foster's, they go, "Ew, that's not something we like." I'm sure Canadians feel the same way about Molson, or maybe they don't. Let us know, or
Yeah.
Labatt Blue or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just naming off ones that I recall from my childhood banners up on advertisements and like IndyCar races and stuff. Anyway, Ricardo, what's up, TRC
you are
crew?
correct. Mike, I believe Mike is Portuguese. What's so freaking
I
funny
can see
about
it in like
that?
his eyes and his cheekbones. They Portuguese guys kind of have a look.
Me and Mike have never. I don't think we've ever spoke about each other being Portuguese. Genuine.
That is interesting because Mike will chat to you about almost anything. I don't know
talked to
how
Mike.
you
I
didn't
talked
end
to Mike
up-
for 40 minutes when we were there
Yes.
at Adam's place.
How did
but I was mainly
Portugal
talking.
never come up?
Well, I was talking about his family. I was asking about his daughter. And
Even more.
and how how he's going to be a grandfather and all sorts of different stuff. It's hilarious because we talked all that time. I even was talking to his son, and I don't think at one point did we talk about. No, we didn't talk about anything Portuguese related. And I think our first time when we met back at Rupes all those years ago, I don't think we talked about being Portuguese either. Maybe I got to call Mike and say, hey, Mike.
So I realize this is kind of out of the blue, but you're Portuguese, right? And then you just start going off on a tangent about all things Portuguese.
Well,
and he'll talk to you about lingua and all that. Right?
Well, he's from Northern California, which would probably make sense.
But linguiça, whatever the special...
Linguiça. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm half, right? Like my dad's from Portugal. So
the way you talk about it, you might as well be full.
What does that make me, though? It makes me... not first generation, first generation American in my family, second generation. What does that make me? If my dad,
I forget how that works.
Came.
Somebody educate us there. I forgot how that
came
works.
to America, right? And now I am the first of that whole side of the family born.
If you're the first one in your lineage who didn't have like an accent and all that stuff, then I think you're first generation immigrant at that point. But you were born in the U.S.
I'm the first person to disappoint my family on the island.
You were born in the U.S. though.
Yeah.
So,
but it's hilarious because we were with my sister, right, and we were hanging out with her. You wouldn't know she was Portuguese either. I mean, honestly, she's a character though, man. She's fun. Moving on. RJ says, "Coach, can we active foam?"
Good stuff.
Well,
I'm not sure what that was referencing, but yeah.
And then goofy face thumbnails. Got it, says Joey.
They just work. Now, granted, the algorithm could always change, and suddenly the preferences change, and then you stop seeing that as much. Great, because it's not my first preference to make every thumbnail with a big face on it, but it's just what gets people to click. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Hansi. What's Hansi say?
Hans says, it was kept in a barn. Owner passed and family sold it. My client bought it a few years ago and had it repainted and put a new soft top on it. After all that work he did and needed a good polish and vacuum. Nice, man. He's selling it now for $62K. I hope he gets that.
Well, I've seen salvage title S2Ks these days selling for over 20. So what's $62K for a amazingly low mile example of an S2K? It's a collector's model at that point, I suppose. Although if he repainted it, I know I can factor into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
I wonder how the paint quality was before that happened.
Kevin says 55 people in here and only 16 likes. What the heck?
Oh my goodness.
Send TRC some love in the second half. Hit that like button, please do.
Turn these into these.
Please do.
Please.
Listen to Francis.
That's right.
Do this for us.
Thank you,
Aaron
Francis.
says, what's the song in the Absolute commercial that sounds familiar?
I think it's like a generic island commercial beat thing.
Jimmy Buffett knockoff or something.
Yeah.
What's funny is I think we heard that same song when we were in the Villages on repeat.
I could have sworn I heard it blasting out of a freaking golf cart. Just cruising. Also, none of the golf carts there were electric. I was shocked. Like, I thought for sure there'd be some, like, just electric golf carts.
Oh, dude,
everybody's got a little one-piston guy just fighting for its life to power that thing.
Yeah. Simon Birch says, when will we get Anthony doing explosive 1500 videos like the TikTok ones for the black one?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy, right?
I don't want to make the goofy thumbnails either, and yet, because that is what the audience wants, even if they don't want it, it's what YouTube says they want, and the views correlate with that. When are you going to sell out and just start doing stupid over-the-top 1500 videos in order to compete with the other towels that are out there that seemingly are building entire brands off of a single towel?
It's funny because like you get people like that in those videos on the particular black towel, and they show them and
the towel is not different than other microfiber towels out there if you know where to look.
It's a magic trick. People go, they're like, what does that? That's amazing.
But it's because they're not marketing to detailers. They're just marketing to average people who haven't seen all this stuff before.
Our luck, Dane,
you tell us. I'm so curious what you guys think.
I could go and make that video on our 1500, right?
Yes.
And literally blow that towel out of the water. Literally blow it out of the water. But here's the problem,
I know you
right?
could.
I would go and do that. we wouldn't hit the audience that we want to hit.
No.
We would hit detailers.
It would go to detailers, and detailers would make the snarkiest comments like, really, dude?
Anthony is stooped down to this level.
Wow.
You know, TRC must be down bad.
They're like, yeah, things are looking a little rough.
Yeah. And they go, he knows that any microfiber towel should do. I can already see the comments, and I go...
Just some comment, desperation doesn't suit you, TRC. You know, just the whatever thing that people write when they want to hurt other people's feelings.
I know. I don't know.
Remember, there's real people behind this stuff.
Either when I start making those videos, you'll know that.
Don't make a detailer cry.
Yeah. Start making these videos, don't judge me. Bill Pearson says, hey guys, checking in a bit late, but I was busy enjoying Adam and Anthony's Wash and Talk. Thank you. Great show. It's great to see you guys. It's great to see and hear you guys collab with him. Thank you.
Well, he's a local and he stops by from time to time, so we just thought it would be fun to have him actually, wash a car in the studio with the guys.
True.
So that was a good time. But I know people were just like, oh my gosh, are you going to carry the products? Collab? It's like, no, he's local. He's around. So it was just a fun collab. Don't read too far into that. All right. Then I've got Alex Dewar.
He says, carpet mats give me anxiety. I get it.
The existence of them? Yeah,
I understand.
guess. Oh, he was joking about how to create stripes on a rubber floor mat, and I realized just stripe the areas that you want to clean and then leave a dirty stripe and then do a clean stripe next to that, and you've effectively striped your rubber mat.
Perfect. The latest progressive commercial with Dr. Smith is hilarious with the guy in his old carpet floor mats. Do you still own that car? I do not. Okay, then. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Is that the commercials?
I haven't seen that
What
one.
are the commercials where it's like you're trying to prevent people from becoming their parents?
Right, yeah, I think those are progressive ads.
Is it progressive?
It might be Geico.
I think it's Geico, which I think is the same
Well,
company.
because
same company.
Geico started that whole trend back in the early mid-2000s of just doing like total non sequitur ads that didn't really relate to anything insurance related, but it was just like something engaging, like the cavemen or whatever.
Yeah.
And the gecko and all that. They just found things that, okay, maybe we talk about car insurance, or we just talk about something that has nothing to do with that, and people might still watch. Turns out people watch, and then at the end they take a little pitch for insurance, and at the end they're like, yeah, I still enjoyed that. It's all right. I didn't mind watching that.
No, they hit the nail on the head with keeping people from becoming their parents.
Yeah.
They did such a good job.
Those were a very effective campaign.
Yeah. Aaron Bauer says, is the current stock of KCX Green Star formulas NTA nitrolitresec, whatever the heck that is? I have no idea. Aaron. I'm not even going to act like I know what that is.
Nitrilo-triacetic acid. Nitrilo-triacetic. Is it nitrilo-triacetic? Am I saying that right?
I don't
Gotta
know.
get the flow.
I'd have to ask.
It's like a
I'd have
tongue
to
twister.
ask KCX USA and ask them
She
if they...
sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah. Josh
Books of
McKay
mahogany.
says, hi
All right.
guys. I thought Q&A was canceled due to the Wash Wednesday Q&A. Apparently not.
No, we surprised you.
We
Are you
did.
surprised? We're all here.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. All right.
Chad Broad says, I agree Toyotas have such an uninspiring driving experience.
Barring, say, like a GR Corolla that's outside. Jimmy loves that. Or a Supra or something like that. I mean, unless you go back to the 90s, I haven't experienced much in the way of a exciting to drive Toyota. Just not. That's not to say there's anything wrong with Toyotas. It's just I'm not feeling particularly like creative or inspired after driving one.
Yeah.
And did I mention I hate the transmission in the Tacoma? I will say that until the end of time.
Horrible. Yeah. Josh McKay says, Anthony, what should I use on Hankook tires that are brown where tread meets the sidewall, only 1,500 miles on them? So you could use PNS Undressed. You can use Green Start full strength. You can use something like Optimum Power Clean at full strength. I mean, it'll knock the brown out real fast. Or in the case of yesterday, hanging out with Adam, you can use Adam's tire and rubber cleaner.
Hey.
Or just buy stuff that we sell. But I think Power Clean, just buy the pint of Power Clean that we sell. We sell pints of Power Clean. Whether it's in the OptiCoat line. You just buy it in the OptiCoat line, the green pint there. Spray it on the sidewall. Agitate it with a stiff bristle tire brush.
Stuff.
You're gonna be good to go.
Yeah.
Scott Mattern says, good afternoon. I hope you're well. My parents are trading in my mom's car. I got her weather text for Christmas. Should I actually pull them out or just let them go?
Depends on if they're being included with the sale of the car. If she's getting a better price because they're already in the car and somebody takes that as meaning, oh, this person took extra good care of it, sometimes that psychological bit plays a role.
If you're trading it in, though, they don't give a crap.
Trading it in, yeah, okay. If you're trading it in, no, pull those things out immediately. Sorry, I wasn't focusing on the trading in part. If it's going to a dealership, the dealership doesn't care. Take those out. And they may not necessarily fit if they're like laser cut for that model. Is she replacing it with the same vehicle, just newer, or is she going into something
separately? Get your money back. Yeah. That's
well, I know you are like Mr. eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Like,
well, no, because dealerships don't care, man. They don't.
They
care.
won't.
They don't care about those accessories and stuff like that. Like genuinely, like when they look over a car, they're looking for they're looking for mechanical damage, they're looking for cosmetic damage, they're looking for all that. They don't care. All the trim and accessories, anything that you would have put on it and whatnot. So, like, genuinely, like, Dane, when you sold your, whatever you want to call it, the Toyota Tacoma, right?
Yeah.
And how Gabe was like, Dane, let me take your headlights, right?
Because those are OEM. I can't take those off of it and replace it because that literally wouldn't be the same model anymore. That's messed up.
Well, I know.
You can't do that.
I know, but he was like, let me take this, let me take
No,
this.
he literally wanted to like
disassemble your car.
The repo man, like body parts, just steal it from the car. It's like, dude, no.
I know, and I know it affected your trim model, but I guarantee you 100%. If they scanned your VIN and said, "Oh, sweet, it's a premium," right? They look at the car, cool, it's a premium. And then what was it? It was car? What do you trade it?
It was
CarMax.
a TRD off-road with the technology package and all that. So it was well appointed.
CarMax would have scanned that in and been like, "Cool, all right, cool, we got your car." And you'd been like, "So you noticing anything missing?" They'd be like, "No, and we don't really care."
No, because at least half the people there are not going to be car people, or they're not going to be,
now the next
like some of the details.
Now the next person might be a little upset. However, if the next person was smart and knew what they were buying, he would say, "Hey, my truck's missing these things. You guys should pay for that." And they would go, I guess we do need to pay for that. Yeah. And CarMax, with their billions of dollars, I don't think they'd be affected.
No, they'll just be like, "All right, we'll cut this off the price. Still interested?" And
Right. So
because historically, at least when I'm looking around online at car prices, the Carvana, the CarMax, all that stuff, it's always a little more expensive than whatever is being sold private sale, generally. But
maybe that's what I'll do. If I ever go to trade in like a car, if we ever go to trade in our 4Runner,
just don't do it with a lease.
I'll strip everything off that car. I'll
just gut that sucker.
It's gonna be like missing trim and all sorts of stuff, but it's inconspicuous stuff. And so like trim that I know it's worth like a ton of money, or like random like pop clips and things like that.
Your Evo's gonna become just a Lancer OC Rally Edition or something.
And then they're gonna go, "Is this even a full car?" I'm like, scan the VIN. And they scan the VIN. They go, "Well, it really is." So I go, "Give me my money."
Oh, God, I just thought, like, how amazing of a troll would it be if somebody went to the trouble of rebodying all the stuff on an Evo, like 9, and turning it just into a base Lancer on the outside?
It'd be horrible, Dane.
Just from a visual standpoint, just as a way to troll people.
Or you just literally put an Evo motor into a Lancer. That's pretty much the same thing.
I mean, that's the same thing, but it's more just knowing that somebody went to the trouble of taking Evo and then just bastardizing it. Like, there's something just really messed up about that.
Anyways, Alex Dewar says, nothing wrong with Boise. If Darren needs an adjacent British monarchy resident, I'll be here for you.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Something good to look out for your fellow, folks from abroad.
Simon Birch says, sounds a lot like Top Gear stuff. Oh, you must put your out. That's customary here. Yes.
Yeah, the shoes off in the hotel thing. That's what he's referring to. SLC Airport is lovely, says Jeff C. It is nice. I don't have any issues with the SLC Airport. We wind up there a lot because it's on the way to other places.
It's a really easy airport, and honestly, once you get to Salt Lake, you're literally an hour away.
The thing about the SLC Airport is it does have a whole lot. It's like a split-level house. It's like a constant little barrage of like little ups and downs. Not a lot, just a little. Like you're going up 15 feet to a new level and then back down again on a tramway or something. I don't know. It kind of feels like that. Salt Lake City Airport is amazing for plane spotter enthusiasts. Yes, there is some interesting stuff that comes through because it is kind of a central point in this side of the country.
What? Jeff says
when
crazy.
My son was born and we traveled to SLC, I was in the first class and 2 rows behind Afromet. That's awesome.
Crazy.
But then he got high. Okay, so we got Ricardo here. And how many ounces of rags to riches should we use to wash the Eagle blanket?
I'd use like 1. Just 1.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the Eagle
I
blanket
would-
shouldn't be getting that dirty in the first place. Just saying.
What I would recommend, Ricardo, would be to wash it with rags to riches, hang dry it. Just hang dry it. Don't put it in the dryer. Hang dry it and then tumble air dry only to soften it back up, right? Yeah, I think that towel in the dryer, from what we tested in the past, it was fine, but it did not feel as soft when we dried the towel fully in the dryer versus hang drying it and then tumbling it afterwards on like low heat or no heat.
Yeah.
So just,
Okay.
take what you will from that. Rick Smith says, I don't fly. If I can't drive, I ain't going. Boise road trip one day. Rick,
We'll see you if you drive up.
Rick, I understand that. I actually used to hate flying. It used to be one of my biggest anxieties is flying.
We got you around on it.
Now I don't really mind. Actually,
You
I don't
think
mind
too
at all.
much about it. But
No.
when we started this job, you were always like a little antsy
Dude,
before every
I
flight.
was on edge every single time I'd be on a flight.
You're like, I need to take a happy pill before I get on this metal
Well,
tube
then I think
flying
eventually
through
I
the
just
sky.
realized, I go, if something happens, there's nothing I can do about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Jesus, take the wheel. I mean, it's literally that. It's that. I don't know.
It's out of your hands.
It's out of my hands. I can't do
brother.
anything, right? It is what it is. So why worry?
Yeah.
Can't do anything anyways. I don't know how to fly a plane.
You want to
Alex-
learn really fast?
Alex Dura says, "Oh, Molson, nice."
Yeah.
And then Jeff C said,
I have a 1984 Molson banner from a ski downhill championship, world championship, the one that my
Oh,
parents
yeah,
did
they
their
did
music
have
at.
that.
From
That's
up in,
sweet.
they were up at Banff, and that's where it was
Yeah.
held. But anyway, yeah, we got a true to life Molson banner in our
Sweet.
garage.
Jeff C says, for those worried about the price of the new Rupes, remember that it comes with like $150 of pads and liquids. Nice.
Yes, that is true. We've got Mr. 441. I keep wanting to say 411, like an info directory, but
Yeah.
not at all. Molson is still very Canadian. Yes. Okay. So not quite on the same level of Australians hating Foster's because they feel like it's a misrepresentation of their beer culture.
Is it?
It's mostly like Foster's is a very like Americanized idea of what an Australian beer is. Like it's
But-
super commercial and super just not
Well, then
authentic.
what do people think of Heineken?
I mean, the Heine's, they're their own thing. It's aren't they Dutch? Netherlands? I don't recall. I'm pretty
don't
sure it's
know.
from the Netherlands.
I actually just completely blanked on where Heineken even comes from. I thought it was Germany
No, I
for a
think they're
second.
I think they're from Holland. I think.
Is it?
Somebody tell us. Somebody who knows.
The
Now I'm-
skunky beer comes from where?
I used to be real good at all this trivia stuff, and just I haven't thought about
Okay, what
it
do the
in a long
Mexicans
time.
think of Corona?
Well, I mean, Corona is also super commercial. Like I would much rather have a Pacifico than a Corona
Dane, you can have any beer as long as it's a Corona.
or a Modelo. just something
Oh.
that's not. Anyway, this is not a beer talk. This is detailing talk. So
Okay.
we're moving on. Oh,
First
okay.
born in the U.S. is second gen. At least that's how my Italian relative. Okay, all right, sure, whatever.
So okay,
Second
so
generation
first
American.
Generation, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll
There
take
you
it.
go.
What polish and pad best used for interior hard plastic, piano black, etc.? Owen from Atlanta.
Thank you for the question, Owen.
So, in my experience, when I'm using like a Rupes, when I'm using my hybrid, my Nano, I'm using anywhere from just the yellow pad to a white pad, the 1-inchers, and that's it.
Do you
Piano black, I've never used a wool pad, I've never used anything like that. Like I've pretty much, yellow foam will do a lot. And I usually use something like Optimum Hyper Polish, as if I do hit adjacent trim or hit anything like that, it's not going to stain and it's not going to leave behind the abrasives in that trim.
Because the tricky part with a lot of those piano black plastics generally is, sure, you can polish it and clean it up, but it's usually in the like wipe off stage. If somebody's not using the best towel or something, you can remar it so easily.
Super easily.
It's really tricky to find that balance. But
Dude,
that's for interior stuff. It's kind of a different animal. On exterior, like you said before, once you polish that up and get it cleaned up, just like PPF that. On an exterior like pillar.
Dude, I would do the same
just
thing for the
cover it.
interior or straight up. I know it sounds really like dumb, but like Jimmy just bought that GR Corolla, right? Super sick, right?
Yeah.
But it's got piano black interior stuff. I would have bought that car. I would have taken it off. I would have plasti dipped it. right? And I know that sounds janky or ghetto or whatever,
But
right?
you know what? It protects it, I guess.
It protects it. It wouldn't ever get any worse, and I would be able to now make it a nice flat black or satin black like I would like.
Somebody out there, though, can't help themselves. Somebody who's like, that person who picks at things. If there's even a remote chance that an edge on that comes up, you're going to have like a passenger sit there picking at that.
Absolutely.
So annoying.
But like, yeah, or I'd wrap it, or
A wrap might be the better move.
Wrap would be a good move. PPF would be a better move. I don't know what
With
my
wrap, you
plans
could,
would be.
like shrink wrap it around.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate piano black.
It's terrible. Car manufacturers, stop using that. Find other materials, please.
Simon Birch says, please make it. I don't know, Simon. We'll see. And then Super Auto says, we need a new bathroom skit vid with Anthony and the attendant for ripping rags.
It's like just reuse the same footage, but change like some of the inserts.
Yeah, it's just
Seabass's whole. You insert like Glenn could do the graphic. She could just have Seabass holding a rip and rag roll,
and I just have him tear it off for me.
Right,
and then you hear the toilet flush.
Oh no. Enough of that.
Super Auto says, yes, it's Progressive that does the doctorate commercials about training.
So that's
parents.
Dr. Rick. All right. I didn't know he went by Dr. Rick. My bad.
Jeff C says, Dane, any update on the Jag?
It is back in the garage. It is on a battery tender. Everything looks good. They did a very good job repairing the front. You honestly couldn't tell that anything ever happened to it. They PPF'd it as they were supposed to, because I made sure to include that as part of the whole insurance thing. I was like, you're going to put it back exactly how it was. And sure enough, it is. It looks great. The downside is, I think after that experience, I can't see myself holding on to a car that if anything were to happen like that again, like totally out of my control, to lose a car for what was close to 5, almost 6 months, I just can't go through that again, at least not in my current stage in life.
Yeah.
So I think, as much as it pains me to say, I'm probably going to sell the car and get something that, if anything were to happen to it, could be repaired locally much faster, easier. Yeah. So if anybody's in the market for a Jaguar F-Type R, hit me up. Honestly, it is in great shape. It is. Seriously. Like, it is just that thing. It has less than 30,000 miles, 28,860 miles. So anyway, this is not a chance for me to plug it, but I'm
front bumper on
I'm
it.
just saying, it's got a new front bumper. Everything else, the headlights are new. All that stuff is mint. So, we'll talk.
Joey Blinsky says, where does the foaming ability of wide open fall? More like Pearl or more like Radiance? I think it foams better than Pearl, and significantly better than Radiance. So it's probably the best foaming of all three of those. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Aaron says, is Jace in the last detail joined TRC SEMA? Would love more new content.
Jace is a great guy, but he's also a very busy guy.
He's busy, man.
He's got some pretty heavy responsibilities outside of just
because he's got his day job that he does. And so I don't know at what point we would get him to take it to the next level, anytime soon with the brand and the last detail. Right now, he's doing his, I don't know if it's like a situation where he's so far into the military, like he's done so many years where he's like, hey, he's got to finish it out, right? Mm-hmm. But it could be one of those things.
I don't know like what stage of the timeline he's at. Like if he plans to be there much longer, or if he's like just.
I don't know what retirement there is. Is it 20 years or whatever it might be, or until you can start. I
know 20 years. There's some kind of threshold for what 20 years.
So like Jace has got to be in it like 10 years or something like that, or more than that.
I think he's even further, like closer to 15.
So maybe like in the next 5 years, he might retire and be like, all right, all in. Last detail,
maybe.
Let's keep going.
Because it's a great product. And actually, that is one thing, not to like go off on a huge tangent, but like when you were working with Freddie on the Porsche 996 Turbo project, that beautiful car, if you saw it on Tavares' channel, that when you were working on that, Rex was so surprised. He's like, well, what are you working with there? And you kind of walked him through it a little bit.
He knew what the last cut was, but he asked me if I liked the Coach Chemie compounds and polish. I said, absolutely. Right. But this particular combo that I've been using for years has never let me down. But
I remember how surprised he was when he saw you use it and he saw what it looked like and he went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But it was just,
it was a good
sold him on it.
Scott Mattern says, anyone here need any 2017 Acura MDX trim pieces or floor mats? I have the hookup.
That is the same body style as the one we had in Florida.
It was.
If I still that, maybe we could have gotten you some headlights or something. Honestly, it would have been better suited on another Acura MDX because that one was tired.
Yeah. Alex Dewar says, I'm out of here. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Love you all. Alex, we're going to see you soon, man. We can't wait.
Buddy. No, look forward to it. And he did confirm with me flights are booked, so it's all good. We will see him.
Hans does confirm that Heineken is Dutch.
Boom.
Okay.
Got it.
Right. And then, Darren here says, so I have been to the USA before and visited New York City in 2011. Got a new passport as mine had expired. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. Okay, perfect.
See, I knew he'd been to the U.S. before. I swore he told me some story about how he visited one city, and I guess it was NYC, which is, I mean, hey, of all the cities to visit, that's a big one. But so he's got a little experience, but I guess he can't pull the shoe trick on him. Yeah. So new idea, come up with something else.
Heineken was introduced in 1873 in the Netherlands on February 10th, 1864. Gerard Adrian Heineken bought the Haystack Brew in Amsterdam in 1873 after hiring Dr. Elion, developed a Heineken yeast, and was established the first Heineken beer was brewed. Wow, Hans.
Thank you, Hans, with the knowledge. That's what people come to the Q&A Thursdays for, to learn about beer history from the 1800s. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Next up, we've got Kirby. What's Kirby saying?
Sadly to hear, Dane, but realistically, that is a safer route. Yep.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where we're left off, although I will say the car I want to replace it with is probably a lot more economical on fuel. I've been looking, and it definitely seems that way. So we'll give it time.
I think you just need to go and buy it, Dane.
I can't just do that.
I think you can.
I can't just go and
I think you need to introduce
ND2 Miata RF.
I think you need to introduce your old lover to your new lover.
All right, now Keith.
Yeah.
And on that note, that's pretty much our Q&A. So thank you, everybody who watched today. We had fun. I like when we get to go on these tangents. I realize sometimes it can be a little quieter, a little calmer. We didn't go as crazy on it, but I felt like we got into some interesting stuff. So hopefully the conversations and all can continue down in the comments below so that this video can live on in perpetuity. Now, if before you go, you could please hit that thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Helps get these videos in front of more folks, and hopefully they can share in the fun so Q&A can keep expanding as time goes forward. And Ryan there made it just in time. Have to rewatch later. Have a fantastic weekend, fellas. Thank you, Ryan, for popping in. Appreciate you. Anything to add, Anthony, before we go?
Take it away.
All right. So on that note, I want to ask you, please subscribe to the Rag Company podcast if you haven't done it already. There's always an audio version of this that uploads wherever podcasts are found, just in case you didn't know about that. Otherwise, you got the videos right here. You can leave comments below. Maybe we'll touch on it in a future video. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week. And we'll have Levi with us, too. All right, guys. Take care. See ya.
See ya.